Morning, everybody. Andy here, day 60. Never thought I'd reach that particular figure, which isn't a good sign, really, is it? Because if I'm getting further and further and more, the higher and higher the numbers, it means this is going on for longer and longer. There, anyway. Right, the daily figures down below 351 daily deaths reported yesterday. It's stabilising. There's still quite a lot, isn't it? As I said before, everyone's an individual person with families and relatives and close friends and all that type of thing. Never lose sight of that. And the total deaths, even worse, 36,393. As I mentioned yesterday, I was talking about the waiting game and all this waiting, but one of the things that the waiting game is doing for us, and this whole sort of lockdown period, which has been going on now for 8 weeks, and it depends where you are as to how long it's been going on and how long it will go on, and talking to other people makes me realise that people are using this and their experiences, because this whole thing has changed everybody. Whether you're at work, whether you're a school child, however old you are, obviously the deaths have impacted on so many families very, very seriously. You know, you can't get any worse than that, can you? But it's impacted on all of us. It's changed all of our lives and probably will change all of our lives in one way or another forever. You know, things will never be the same again, even if it's just the memories of what's gone before. And you can't, you know, you're never going to lose that, are you? But it's going to make a lot of people, is making a lot of people reevaluate aspects of their lives. Their lives are going to be changed anyway because of events that are happening, so they have no control over some of those things. But a lot of people now, because of the way that things have happened, they've been locked indoors. They've been doing a lot of thinking. They've been sorting out, or they're cleaning out their closet, as Eminem would say. Either this sort of closet or the one, you know, in the hallway or something, and clearing out all that stuff. And it's making them think about things. And as I said several times before, it's making you realise what the important things in life really are. The things that we might have thought were important before, especially all those sort of materialistic type of things, aren't necessarily as important as you thought they were. I was the same back in the day as well, thought that, and then realised after I lost my job sort of 10 years ago, had a re-evaluation because something happened, bang, something like this happened, and it made me realise, and I took a decision not to let that sort of thing happen again, which I may well come back to in a minute. But so many people are doing that. Obviously, as I said, some of those life changes are going to be because they've been made for you. Those changes have been made for you. But a lot of people are thinking about what they're going to do. Do I really want to go back to that way that it was? So many people talking about they love the peace and quiet of all this that I do. They love to hear the birds sing. They love the fact there aren't so many cars around. They actually enjoy walking around their local neighbours. They enjoy the cycling. They enjoy the exercise that they've been doing, the reading that they've been doing, the listening to music, all of those type of things. It's made them realise that their life has changed, and they're thinking, how can I keep hold of that? Even if it's just a little bit, even if you can only change your life a small way, it will make a huge difference in the end. And people are thinking about things like this, about sort of travelling and that type of thing. I mean, I've said this before, and I shall say it again, is that after I met Julie about getting on for 2 years ago now, we bonded over one of the things that we did bond over was the fact that we both wanted to travel. We both wanted to get out there and do things while we could. You know, I'm 62 years of age now. You know, you're not getting any younger, obviously. But you're thinking, right, how long can I carry on like this? How long am I going to be fit and healthy and in a nice state that I can go out there and I can travel well and I can do the things that I want to do? So we made a decision to go out there and go to a lot of these places up there. And I showed you the photo albums the other week from all those trips that we've done in the last 18 months. And then it comes home to you that if we hadn't have done those trips when we did them, we wouldn't be able to do them now. You know, you need to get those things, and that whole thing, you need to live your life as if this is the last day on earth type of thing. And that has never been more true than it is now, because you've realised that we never thought that it was something like a pandemic that would stop us travelling. In the way that we did, maybe full stop, who knows the way things are going. We thought it would just be, you know, our knees or something like that, our minds or something, you know, whatever it might be, that would be the thing that stopped us. We never expected for one moment that suddenly, you know, the day after we came back from Lisbon, that a pandemic would hit, a lockdown would happen, and we weren't able to do those things again. Boy, are we glad that we did them. And I'm sure there's so many other people out there who are thinking, I wish I'd done that now. I wish I'd done that. And that's the trouble. You can't, we've got those memories, you know, we've got the photo albums and that. Try not to revel in this particularly, but it's just a very good point, because it's a realisation that we've had of how lucky we were and how sensible we were maybe to make those decisions. Not everybody can make these. Not everybody can make huge life-changing decisions because of the nature of their life and as it is. But we can all make small, incremental little steps or whatever that can change our lives. Just walking a bit more, exploring your local area, soaking up that kind of thing, reading more, listening to them, all those tiny little things. Maybe even you hear about people thinking about their jobs, re-evaluating their jobs before it's done for them, maybe, and thinking, do I really want to travel that far to work every day? Because I've liked being at home and having that time with my families, with the people around me. Just being at home is nice sometimes, isn't it? In your local area, exploring that, and as I said, walking on the seafront, walking in the park, all that type of thing. Which, if you're commuting long distances, you don't have the chance to do that sort of thing. And this quality of life is what they always call it, isn't it? And people are realising that maybe they should be concentrating more on that quality of life than on maybe the more materialistic things. As I said, I lost my job 10 years ago, just like that. I wasn't expecting it to happen. I knew changes were coming in the job I was in, but I was never expecting to be shown the door effectively. And it made me realise a lot of different things that have changed my life. But I made a decision then not to go back to the life that I had, that sort of stressful managerial role that I was in at the time. I didn't necessarily feel it was stressful, but I realised afterwards that it was. And it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It impacted on my life in other ways, but I'm certainly a happier person than I was now. I'm probably healthier as well, for that matter, hopefully. I'm not as well off as I was then, but as I said, I'm a lot more happy. And that you can't beat that type of thing. If happiness is a huge thing, people say that I look younger and that sort of stuff, and I see people that and all that type of thing. It does make a difference to your life. It sort of drains away that sort of stress and that sort of freedom that you have. So have a think about that. You might I said, I talk to people literally who said, I'm going to change my job, or I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to try not to do that. I've seen people talking about it on YouTube as well, name any names. But it's made us all think, I think, a lot of the time now, how we could just do things differently. And hopefully, maybe how the world can change. But the world can only change if you change, and you do your little bit, and it sort of spreads that sort of movement, gives other people ideas. Hopefully me saying this will maybe make you think, I'll just change one small thing in my life. So it doesn't have to be a huge thing, but if it is a big life-changing thing, maybe think, well, actually, maybe I could go down that route now. Now, I've learned about this through an online course or whatever it is. I've got interested in some sort of books that I've realised that I've got a real fascination for this or that, and you might be able to explore that part of your life. It's worth taking that leap because, you never know what you're going to miss, because if you don't take it, you'll never know, as I say. So give it a thought. Re-evaluation. It's the in thing at the moment. I think lots of people are going to be doing that. I say some of it may be forced on you, but I hope it's always better to make your own decisions, make your own choices in life, and then see where they take you. And then you'll have no regrets. If you don't do it, if you always say no to something, it's never going to be good. Sometimes you have to say yes and go out there on a limb a little bit, because you never know where it might take you. It might take you all to these sort of places. It might take you somewhere completely different. Change your life as mine was changed those years ago. So now's the opportunity to do that, maybe. Anyway, stay strong, stay safe, and hopefully I shall speak to you tomorrow. Goodbye.